Oh, yeah. Can you get that? There you go. Thank you. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing our gathering hymn, number 361. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Please be seated. Welcome one and all to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Hillsborough, where we constantly try to get close to the mic. That's right. And for all who seek community and support. Our worship style and rituals may vary from week to week, and we celebrate a variety of religious sacred days of different faiths and belief systems. So we don't require that we all adhere to one specific creed or common belief, but rather we are a covenant congregation, committed to loving, listening to, and supporting one another in our individual, lifelong quest for truth and meaning in matters of our personal faith. So whoever you are, guest, friend, member, and whatever guided you to join us today, either here in person or online, we welcome you. My name is Dave Yelton. It's my honor and privilege and pleasure to be your worship coordinator to bring you today's service. As a lay-led congregation, there are a lot of contributing volunteers, many behind the scenes that you don't see every Sunday or each week, make our Sunday classes and activities possible. So a big thank you to all who help make this a great place, inside and out, and to gather and learn and grow in spirit, in community, and in love. And I offer a special thanks for our speaker today, Kim Freeman, one of our own members, and now our recently confirmed and installed moderator. Kim has really only been a member here for a couple of years, but she quickly committed her considerable energies and talents to our congregation. When not guiding and directing various functions here, she finds some time to continue her career as an inorganic chemist and an associate director of a program development at a local pharmaceutical company. And all this in addition to raising her family, and I'm sure with some assistance from her husband, Andy. A woman who wears many hats and wears them well, Kim will present a challenging and thought-provoking message from our Summer of the Month series on how to forgive ourselves and each other and begin again in love. So I look forward to this special presentation and the message she has chosen to share with us today. Now, before we create our time for worship, let's take a moment to share important announcements. This is first really a good time to check those old cell phones, make sure that they are in a quiet or off or worship mode. We will enjoy coffee and tea after the service at the back of the room, and if you're a visitor today, this will be a great time to let us get to know you better in that relaxed atmosphere. One reminder too, the OCIM pantry donations, we are running close to our goal this year. I've been keeping a little running tally, and we had hoped to have 1,000 pounds of food this year. We were close to that last year. And we're a little over 400 pounds so far. We're a little behind, so keep bringing those canned goods and other items for the food pantry each week and put them in the basket out in the hallway. Thank you very much. Now, are there any more announcements for the good of the community? Please come forward and join side mic.
I'm Sean Saunders, and Amy Tattersall asked me to announce, I know it's an e-news, but she's inviting anybody who's interested in listening to the General Assembly Ware lecture to her house on Tuesday evening at 7:30. The Ware lecture this year is Julia Watts Belson, a rabbi and activist for disability and gender justice, and she's a professor in the Divinity School at Georgetown University.
This is also in your newsletter, but we're having a camp out over Labor Day weekend. We do ask if you want to join us that you go ahead and sign up. The link is in the newsletter. It's a very minimal fee. It is primitive or tent camping at the group site that we have reserved, but if you have a camper, you're welcome to reserve a camper site and just come over and hang out with us. It's not very far away from here, so you could also just drive out and hang with us and be one of the cool kids. And again, it's Labor Day weekend. We're really looking forward to it. And then I also want to announce that next weekend is the first GovCo meeting. Anybody is welcome to attend, but this is a special one because the outgoing GovCo and the incoming GovCo will all meet together and we'll do sort of a handover. So if you're interested, you're invited.
Hi, I'm Aurora. I have just one quick RE-related announcement, and that is on the 20th. So during the summer, we kind of alternate between structured curricula and more casual kind of free play days. And one of those free play days is going to be a water play day, and that's going to be on the 21st of July. We'll have two. The first one will be on the 21st of July. So if your child or youth would like to be involved with water play, have them come dressed appropriately in something that can get wet or dirty.
Aurora, how wet and dirty are we talking about?
Amber is organizing, so ask her. But I think sprinklers and water balloons and slip and slides might all be involved. Maybe
So take the clothes.
So yeah, maybe something over a swimsuit that they can take off and easily just put on a swimsuit or something they can change out of afterwards.
Thank you.
Okay.
What's the age limit? It's like the young at heart. They're young at heart.
I just stand here. I have papers. I'm Amy, the program administrator here. I'm going to hit announcements that haven't gone out yet. Hamilton sing along here, July 14th at 3 o'clock. Come, whether you know all the words or not. It's pretty fun to watch, and you get to see people rapping poorly. That's awesome. I'm sorry. I assume we're going to rap poorly, right?
Of course.
It's mandatory. There will be a picnic on Lake Orange August 18th at the home of Dave Belt and Nancy Valentine. I don't see Dave here. August 18th at 1 o'clock, there will be a sign up for a sign up genius for food and drink and stuff. RE is interested in getting kids to help light the chalice during service. So if your child is interested in being a chalice lighter, please talk to Aurora or Heather or an RE.
There's a sign up in the e-news.
There's a sign up in the e-news that I write. Go figure. Also, there's a ministry council meeting today at 1:30 on Zoom. Everybody's welcome. Let me know if you want the link to join us. I think that's all.
Going once, going twice? Okay. Now, if there are no more announcements for the good of the community, let us prepare ourselves for our worship together. We'll begin with our chalice lighting. Honoring Our Common Connections by Adam Slade. We gather this morning as one community, a community united by common ideals: love, justice, diversity, freedom, mutual care, equity. Yet look around. Look at the faces of those around you. Each face represents an individual. Every one of us has our own story, needs, strengths, faults. We light our chalice today, honoring our common connection, the love that binds us, and also the uniqueness that lives within each of us.
This is To Remember Our Promises by Sarah C. Stewart. Bring who you are as you enter our building this morning. Bring your best self and your struggling self. Bring your mistakes and your triumphs. Bring your shortcomings and your recommitment to good. Bring yourself here and open your heart to beauty, to truth, to the door that is open to the great mysteries of the universe. Here in this congregation, we are trying to walk together on the peaceable way, trying to hammer out division and hatred and all that separates one from another. We try, and we fall short, but held in love, we try again. We come together this morning as a congregation to bow our heads in prayer, to raise our voices in song, to remember our promises, and to vow to live by them once again.
So please stand in body or spirit, and we'll sing our opening hymn, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. And today we're going to sing it slightly differently from how we usually do. There's a line in the song that's a line in the poem by Rumi that's often in our hymnals left out, and it's come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. And there's a line we're going to end today, though you've broken your vows 100 times, come yet again, come. So half the congregation is going to sing with me, and this is the new part, and then half is going to sing the regular way with David.
Okay, so our part's really simple. Though you've broken your vows 100 times, 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 though you've
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come, 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 whoever you are. Ours is a welcoming congregation where we find connection, a sharing community where our joys are celebrated, and a caring community where our sorrows are lessened. Each Sunday we take this time to reflect on special happenings that would occur during this week among our members and guests, members and friends. Guests do, I guess. Some choose to share aloud, while others choose to remain silent. Here we make room for both. For those of you who would like to share aloud, please take a moment before you begin, center yourself, collect your thoughts, so that what you have to share is personal, heartfelt, and brief. So now, please come forward, tell us your name, and share what is in your heart. When you're finished, you may release a stone into the base on the altar. For those of you joining us online and would like to share a joy or concern with us, please put that in the chat and tell us if you would like it read aloud, and we'll drop a stone for you. So please come forward to share side by. For those of you who would prefer to silently acknowledge your joys and concerns and sorrows remaining in your heart, I invite you to come to the altar, release a stone into the vase in silence while Aviva plays Spirit of Life. After she plays through it one time, you're all invited to join in singing this meditation song. Words are printed in your order of service. Things within the heart of this community, both spoken and unspoken, are remaining silent for a moment as we consider what has been shared and how we might respond. Now let us close together with Amen and blessed be. Amen and blessed be. Now let's sing those beloved children of the class with our children's blessing, located in the back cover of your gray hymnal. Now let's join together in a responsive reading. It's number 637 in your hymnal. Be a nice precursor to the message today. It's called A Litany of Atonement by the Reverend Robert Eller Isaacs. I'll begin when you follow. For a remaining silent when a single voice would have made a difference. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again. For each time that our fears have made us rigid and inaccessible. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For each time that we have struck out in anger without just cause. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For each time that our greed has blinded us to the needs of others. We forgive ourselves and each other. For the selfishness which sets us apart and alone. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For falling short of the admonitions of the Spirit. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For losing sight of our unity. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For those and for so many acts, both evident and subtle, which have fueled the illusion of separateness. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For those of you not familiar with our Sermon of the Month subscription, I did not write this, but as a small lay-led congregation, we have taken advantage of an offering from the UUA, which allows us for a nominal fee to access 12 fantastic sermons written by members of the UUA and employees of the UUA. And so this was written by Beth Casebolt, who is the operations manager and communications consultant for the Central East region of the Unitarian Universalist Association. And she titled it, We Begin Again in Love. We all make promises. We make promises to ourselves. We make promises to our family members and our friends. We make promises to our work colleagues and to the different communities we are members of. We call promises by different names: commitments, covenants, agreements, resolutions, but they are all at their core promises. We all break promises as well. Think about yourself. When we start something new, we make promises. At the new year, we make resolutions about changing our lives. How long do your New Year's resolutions last? If you're like most, you're lucky to make it out of January before old habits start creeping in, and those resolutions, those promises, are gone. Our congregations are no different, only here we call those promises covenants. Covenant. Covenant is one of the keystones of Unitarian Universalist faith. It's an important part of our history, it's an important part of our present, and it's an important part of our future. What is covenant? This explanation comes from the Commission on Appraisal report, Engaging Our Theological Diversity. Mutual promises flow from a shared covenant and draw Unitarian Universalists closer to our unifying core than individual claims can manage. Unitarian Universalism summons us to pledge our truth, an old-fashioned phrase that marries both truthfulness and trust, to one another, forging our individual religious journeys together. Promises must be risked openly and publicly, unlike beliefs, which can be held in the privacy of one's own heart. Promises are fulfilled only in communal life. Promises require companions and signal institutional allegiance. Promises remind us that we are connected and beholden to sisters and brothers in our chosen faith. We are spiritual kin bound together in the interdependent web of existence. Promises support partnerships through fair and foul. Promises foster and sustain beloved communities. In reality, congregations, like couples, can crack and rupture for plenty of legitimate reasons. However, breakups frequently occur because life appears greener elsewhere, because conflicts escalate without redress, or simply because of boring stretches. Hence, mature promise making encourages partners and parishioners to calm down, breathe deeply, and stay at the welcome table. Unitarian Universalist minister David Blanchard penned wisdom applicable to covenantal bonds of all sorts in his meditation manual, A Temporary State of Grace. Do more than simply keep the promises made in your vows. Do something more. Keep promising. Keep promising new things, deeper things, vaster things, yet unimagined things. Promises that will be needed to fill the expanses of time and love. Keep promising. Promises remind us to be firm, yet flexible, to choose again what we chose before. Promises prompt us to keep an evergreen awareness in our interpersonal and institutional lives, to grow where we are planted, and as necessary, do some rebodiing. So from this, we learn that covenants are an important piece of our faith. It's how we are together. It's how we stay together. It is what holds us as a community. We are a covenantal faith. There's that word again, covenant. We don't have a creed that we all state, that we believe, that holds us together. Instead, it's our covenants. Covenants are important in our congregations, and we find them everywhere. We have covenants in our RE classes that teachers and students are expected to abide by. We have behavioral covenants in our congregations that outline how we expect each other to act in our community. We have board covenants, covenants, but how do we exactly use these covenants? Do we revisit them? Do we stay true to them? Revise them when necessary? In a classroom setting, a covenant only stays effective for a year. The next year, it's a new class, and a new covenant is part of the first day's activities. When a new student joins, the covenant is reviewed, and they are asked if they agree. Board covenants are reviewed each year when new members are elected and join the board. This offers an opportunity to talk about these promises and expectations and reconsider them. Changes can be made because these are living documents. But what about our congregation-wide covenants, like our behavioral covenants? Do we revisit those on a regular basis? When was the last time you reread our behavioral covenant? Do we advise individuals about these covenants when they join? Do we listen if they have objections? How do we manage these situations? Are these really living documents? Are we making them an active part of our lives? And more importantly, what do we do when covenants of any type are broken? How do we repair and reform our community? This is the piece we seem to ignore. We make promises, but we don't consider what to do if the promises get broken. Here we have to go a little bit off script. There's a hymn in our gray hymnal called Come, Come, Whoever You Are. You guys might remember it from like 20 minutes ago. This is very popular among Unitarian Universalists, and it's often sung as a representation of how accepting we are. We welcome everyone as they are. As you already know, a line was left out of the original poem when this was adapted for our hymnal. The poem actually reads, "Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, it doesn't matter. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, even if you have broken your vow 100 times, come, yet again come." Note what was left out when it became an M. Even if you've broken your vow 100 times. We welcome you, even if you've broken your promises. Why was that left out? Why don't we sing that line? It's as if the arranger didn't want to acknowledge that promises and covenants do get broken. We are conflict avoidant, and we don't want to talk about the messy work of fixing things when they go wrong. Let's think about this. When we have a covenant in a classroom, and someone breaks that covenant, what do? Usually the teacher, or sometimes a student, says, that's not part of our covenant. And the person who has broken the covenant says, oh, sorry, and stops the behavior, and everyone goes on. Problem solved. What happens when a board or committee covenant is broken? When someone won't allow other opinions to be voiced during a meeting? When someone cross-talks during discussion? Do we call them on it? Do we point out their error? Or do we ignore it because we don't want to get confrontational or be in conflict? Do we hold the covenant sacred? Or do we give in to discomfort? It varies depending on the personalities of the board or committee. Unfortunately, more often than not, we ignore that behavior. And when we do that, the covenant no longer binds the group together. Some groups read their covenant at the start of every meeting as a reminder of what they have promised to do. Congregational covenants, such as behavioral covenants, often have a procedure or process of reconciliation that goes with them. Sometimes this is called a disruptive person policy. Sometimes it involves a right relations team. But do we follow those? Or do we ignore the behavior that is in violation of the covenant in the interest of keeping the peace, and only use the policy when behaviors are extreme? Is it because we don't want to be the person who pushed them out? We need to become better at calling those who have broken covenant back into covenant with us. We need to agree a mistake has been made and that we are going to begin again in love. Not just here, out there. Those who have broken a covenant own and admit the mistake. Those who have been affected by the broken covenant forgive those who have broken it. That is not easy. This isn't a perfect system, and it can take a long time to heal the wounds that a broken covenant has caused. These aren't overnight fixes. We're human. We hold grudges. It's hard to forgive. We don't like to admit when we're wrong, but it is how we go forward. It makes the process complete. Congregations are one of the few places in our lives we get to practice these skills, to apologize, to atone for our mistakes, to offer and grant forgiveness. When was the last time you did that outside of your faith community or your family? Rarely are these sorts of processes found outside of the church environment anymore. This is how rules and covenants differ. Breaking rules usually requires some sort of punishment or loss of privileges. If you do X, you can no longer do Y. Covenants aren't the same. When a covenant is broken, the community calls that person back into covenant by asking the question, can you recommit to be with us under these guidelines again? Can we trust you? This method of conversation and learning to hold covenant is a skill our society is losing. Many of us are entrenched in our side, in our beliefs, and we can't hear what the other has to say. Covenants invite dialogue. Why do you feel that way? What brought you to that conclusion? How can we make this work for everyone? How do we forgive? How do we adapt and move on? Covenants are the glue that hold us together. Recovenanting processes are the skills that make living together as a community possible. And like other skills, coming back into covenant as a community is something we should plan a process for, be intentional about, practice, and review regularly. Does our congregation offer opportunities to be in dialogue and practice these skills? Doing this can be uncomfortable. You have to practice being in discomfort to make it work. Businesses and many other groups exist purely for the sake of accomplishing their stated goals. The people come together for the sake of their common purpose. For religious communities, on the other hand, being in community is its own goal. And since communities are made of imperfect creatures, falling short of the goal is inevitable. This means that any covenant that lacks a process for reconciliation will inevitably fail. Think about the community of our congregation and the smaller communities within it. What are the covenants that hold us together? Are they explicitly stated or not? Are they reviewed regularly? Or do members just assume someone new will somehow figure it out all on their own? And when someone falls out of covenant, when, not if, does the group know what to do to restore community? As Rumi wrote, Rumi being the author of the poem that was adapted into a hymn, even if you have broken your vows 100 times, come, yet again, come. To be a living and healthy community, we need to be intentional about how to bring people back into the circle of caring and begin again in love. Thank you.
Thank you for that message, challenging and important. At this time each Sunday, we take up a monetary offering to support various worthy causes in our Orange County community. Each church year at our annual Committee of the Whole meeting, we select causes that we focus on for the upcoming church year. In keeping with our mission statement to partner with the earth, for the month of July, we have chosen our plate offering to go to support the Eno River Association and its environmental support and protection of one of our area's greatest natural treasures. So please donate by placing cash or checks in the offering basket. If by check, please write plate in the memo line. Or you can go to our website, click on donate on the donate button, or you can use the QR code that's printed in your order of service. Thank you for your generosity. Now some music from Alan and Claire.
Just to let you know, we played music at the Eno Festival, which is the Eno River Association's big fundraising annual event, Thursday and Saturday. So happy that our community here is supporting that.
Was it hot?
Very hot. It usually is.
So this is a little instrumental number called Orally, A-U-R-A, and it's just pretty, we like it.
Only thing missing from that was the cloggers to go with it. Please join me in our prayer of collective gratitude found in your order of service. For the love that surrounds us every morning, and the friends beside us, and for the generous gifts just received, let us be truly grateful. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing our closing hymn, number 133, Love Will Guide Us.
131.
I'm sorry, 131. Yeah. Closing words by Kristen Taves. The work we share, it is our work shared with each other in covenant that creates and sustains our beloved community. Our continuing task, our shared work, is in forgiving ourselves and each other, and to begin again in love. The light of our faith, of our commitment to forgiveness and love, lives on in us together. And now we extinguish our chalice by reading the words in your bulletin. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Go in peace, my friends. Blessed be.
Good, Jim. Yeah, I guess we should just stay up here.
Good job. Well, almost down. Have fun.